What if being broke isn't bad luck? It's a lifestyle we've been tricked into. The credit cards, car payments, student loans, they're all part of the same trap. But there's a way out. This isn't a hack or a hustle. It's a complete financial reset, a plan that's helped millions break free, rebuild, and finally breathe. This is the Total Money Makeover, and your journey to financial freedom starts now. Phase 1. Waking from financial amnesia. Most people live in denial about their finances, masking fear with convenience. Credit cards feel like lifelines, but they are silent assassins cloaked in plastic. In a world that worships instant gratification, the slow rot of debt is camouflaged by monthly payments. To change your life, you must first confront the lies you've accepted as truths. You're not doing fine if you're drowning in debt. Normal is broke, stressed, and one emergency away from collapse. This phase begins with brutal honesty, a look in the mirror that exposes the weight of financial slavery. You cannot heal what you refuse to acknowledge. The makeover starts not with math, but with mindset. True transformation demands emotional maturity and courage. No more excuses, no more hiding behind income or status. This is about declaring war on mediocrity. It's not just a budget, it's a rebellion against chaos. The first spark is not knowledge, it's conviction. Phase 2. The 1,000 lifeboat. Before you fight giants, you need a shield. The first mission is simple. Scrape together $1,000 and stash it away. It's your starter emergency fund, not your fortress, but a trench to duck into when life throws its first punch. This small amount, while humble, creates psychological breathing room. It stops panic from morphing into further debt. No more swiping cards for car repairs or doctor visits. Even if it means selling your TV or delivering pizzas at night, you do it. Discipline becomes your currency. This phase tests your seriousness. It separates the curious from the committed. The sacrifice sharpens your resolve. It's not about how much you make. It's about how much you're willing to change. This fund is your first act of defense against chaos. It whispers that you're no longer a victim. You're preparing for war. The feeling of power returns, $1 at a time. In a consumer world, saving is an act of defiance. Phase 3. Destroying the debt monster. Now begins the attack, systematic, merciless, and focused. The plan: list all non-mortgage debts, smallest to largest, and attack them one by one. This is the debt snowball method, not mathematically perfect, but emotionally bulletproof. Momentum fuels motivation. Each paid-off debt is a psychological victory, a reclaimed piece of your soul. Minimum payments are no longer enough. They're the shackles you're breaking. No more new debt. Cut up the credit cards, cancel the excuses, and channel your rage into your payments. You sell things, you work overtime, you hustle like your life depends on it, because it does. The culture says debt is a tool. The truth is it's a trap. Student loans, car loans, personal loans, they're all part of the same lie. In this phase, you don't negotiate with debt, you annihilate it. It's not just about money, it's about reclaiming peace. When the chains fall, you'll remember how strong you really are. Phase 4. Fortifying the emergency fund. With debt behind you, it's time to upgrade your defenses. Now you build a full emergency fund, 3 to 6 months of expenses. This isn't luxury, it's survival in a volatile world. Jobs vanish, health fails, economies crash. A solid emergency fund turns crises into inconveniences. It guards your peace, your dreams, and your progress. You save until it feels like you're hoarding too much, because one storm can empty years of growth. Unlike the starter fund, this is a wall, thick, stable, immovable. Saving becomes a form of self-respect. No more living on the edge. You're moving from reactive to proactive. In this phase, Fear loses its grip. You're not waiting to be rescued. You've built your own life raft. Now, for the first time, you breathe without fear of sinking. You've turned from victim into steward. Phase 5. Reclaiming the future with purpose. With the past cleaned up, the focus turns to the future. You begin investing 15% of your income into retirement. This is where wealth building begins, not for greed, but for dignity. Time is now your greatest ally. Compound interest, once your enemy in debt, now becomes your silent partner. You're not betting on quick returns. You're planting oak trees that will shade your future. You invest with knowledge, not impulse. Retirement isn't an age. It's a financial condition. You're taking back your later years from the clutches of dependence. No longer do you chase get-rich-quick schemes. You become slow, steady, and strategic. The goal isn't flashy. It's freedom. True wealth whispers. This phase is about working today, so you don't have to tomorrow. You are building a life you won't need to escape from. Phase 6. Legacy begins with learning. If you have children or plan to, you start preparing for their future too. You save for their college through smart, tax-advantaged accounts. But more importantly, you teach them how money works. Generational change doesn't happen by accident. It's forged by intention. You break the cycle of debt before it passes on. You're not just giving your kids money, you're giving them wisdom. You model sacrifice, grit, and stewardship. In this phase, your vision expands beyond your own timeline. The seeds you plant now will outlive you. You refuse to let debt be their inheritance. Education becomes a gift, not a burden. It's no longer just about your story. It's about theirs. The legacy of freedom begins long before the inheritance is passed. Phase 7. Killing the mortgage beast. You now turn to the final chain, the mortgage. Many stop here, but the brave push forward. You pay off your home early, not because it's easy, but because it's right. Imagine owning your house outright. No payments, no fear. You throw every extra dollar at the principal. Each payment is a blow to a burden that once felt immovable. It may take years, but every step is a stride toward total freedom. The culture says a mortgage is good debt, but in truth, it's still bondage. Owning your home is about reclaiming your most sacred space. You walk through your front door with pride, not pressure. No bank owns your peace. In this phase, you sever the last tether to financial dependence. You become what few dare to be, completely free. Phase 8. Becoming wealth, not just having it. With no debt, a paid-off home, and investments growing, you now become something rare. Wealth is no longer an aspiration. It's an identity. But it's not just about accumulating. It's about becoming a wise steward. You no longer work for money. Your money works for you. You start to think in terms of net worth, not income. You protect your wealth with insurance, estate planning, and smart decisions. Wealth isn't loud. It's quiet, peaceful, unshaken by storms. You realize true financial strength is spiritual, emotional, and practical. You learn to enjoy what you've built without guilt. Your life is now guided by purpose, not panic. You no longer fear the unexpected. You are prepared. In this phase, you don't just escape poverty. You rewrite your family's history. The makeover has reached its full transformation. Phase 9. Radical generosity. You are now positioned to live out the highest calling of wealth, generosity. Giving is no longer painful. It's joyful. You give with purpose, on purpose, no longer driven by guilt or social pressure. Your giving becomes a force of healing in a broken world. You help others not just with money, but with wisdom. You remember what it felt like to be in chains, and you use your freedom to unlock doors for others. This isn't charity, it's legacy. Generosity becomes your legacy, not just a line in your budget. You support causes that align with your values and people you believe in. Your life becomes a conduit of blessing, not just a container of wealth. In this phase, you rise above success and step into significance. This is not the end, it's the reason you began. Phase 10. Financial peace and soulful living. The makeover wasn't just financial, it was spiritual. You've moved from chaos to clarity, from stress to peace. Money is now a tool, not a torment. You've rebuilt your life on a foundation of discipline, truth, and resilience. The journey changed your bank account, but more importantly, it transformed your identity. You are no longer at the mercy of circumstances. You live with intention, not reaction. Time and freedom are now your greatest assets. You've traded anxiety for confidence. You no longer wonder if you'll make it. You know you will. This final phase isn't about arrival. It's about alignment. You've learned the art of enough. And in doing so, you've discovered that true wealth was never just in your wallet. It was in your choices, your character, and your courage. You don't have to stay stuck in the cycle of stress, debt, and survival mode. The steps are simple, the mindset is powerful, and the change is real. The Total Money Makeover is more than a book, it's a wake-up call. Now it's your move. Don't just know the plan, live it. Thanks for listening to Book in Minutes, where one book can change your life in just a few moments. If this episode sparked something in you, share it, follow, and join us next time for another life-shifting read. In Minutes,